This year, the 2012 SeaVuria team were high school students from Roosevelt High School in Seattle, Washington, and Bura Girls High School in Mombasa, Kenya, who collaborated on the global health issue of malaria. We got to know each other through videos.
I'm Rahma Faisal. I live in Mombasa, that's in Kenya.
Hi, my name is Esther. I study in Bura Girls.
Hi, I'm Johanna.
Hi, I'm Abby.
I'm Daria.
Hi, I'm Emma.
I'm Maureen.
Emma, Abby, Daria, and me. I'm at the camera.
Yes,
Okay, we're going.
Our mentor was Gladys Kiatini. She's a postdoctorate researcher at the Seattle Biomedical Research Institute. She specialized in the area of pregnancy malaria.
So I got interested in malaria actually after I came here. So it's not when I was in Kenya. I got interested in biology when I was in Kenya, but I wasn't sure what I was going to do because we didn't really have a lot of people who were in science or at least research. I didn't know that there was something that's called research. We knew there were doctors, there were teachers, and that's what I wanted to be, was a teacher. But that's how I got interested in coming to the US because I was a runner, so I got a scholarship to come here. Being an athlete and a science major was probably a surprise to some people because there weren't really a lot of people that were doing the same thing. And my coaches were really worried because I wasn't gonna have enough time to, if you have two labs, that's 4 hours, 8 hours a week, you're taking a lot of time from being an athlete. But I was really determined to do it. It was huge for me, at least, because I grew up in a village. I went to school in a village. I had never lived in a city, and I was 18 years old. I had just graduated from high school, and coming to the U.S., I had traveled outside the U.S. with my running, so I kind of knew what it could look like. But I didn't really know because we always travel as a group, as a team. So you never really experience the people, you never experience the cultures, and you're traveling for a very short number of, maybe a month or two. But you're so protected. So when I got the scholarship and I was coming to the US, I didn't think much about it. It was almost just like one of my trips that I usually make when I go running. Except I wasn't going back home.
It is important to understand the transmission to find points in the cycle where vaccines can be targeted. Malaria is caused by the Plasmodium parasite. The severity of the malaria is determined by which variation of the Plasmodium parasite infects the human. There are two main phases in the cycle of malaria. The first phase is the sexual phase in the mosquito, and the second is the asexual phase, which happens in the humans. A female Anopheles mosquito probes the human skin looking for a blood vessel for a blood meal in order to lay eggs. In this process, an anticoagulant is released from the salivary glands. If the mosquito is infected with the Plasmodium parasite, the mosquito infects the human with sporozoites, which is a stage in the parasitic life cycle. The sporozoites travel through the bloodstream to a liver cell. In the liver cell, the sporozoites multiply into about 40,000 merozoites, which is another stage in the parasite's life cycle. This happens over about a week. Some types of Plasmodium become dormant in this stage and do not exit the cell for up to 12 months. Then the liver cell bursts, releasing thousands of merozoites into the bloodstream, where merozoites enter red blood cells. They feed off of the hemoglobin and multiply. The red blood cells rupture every 48 hours. The immune response starts here. This is where the symptoms of malaria begin. The symptoms of malaria are shivering, a fever every 48 hours when the red blood cells burst, body aches, anemia from the red blood cells dying, which can also cause death. Some parasites stick to the brain and cause a stroke, which can also lead to death, and this is called cerebral malaria. Some red blood cells do not rupture every 48 hours. Instead, they form gametocytes. These are the sexual phase plasmodiums that evolve inside the mosquito. When a mosquito goes for a blood meal and consumes blood from an infected malaria victim, the mosquito consumes the red blood cells with gametocytes. Once in the mosquito, the gametocytes become sexual cells. The sexual cells of a sperm cell and an egg cell form a zygote and rest in the mosquito's stomach lining. The zygote then multiplies into sporozoites, which travel to the salivary glands, where the sporozoites can be injected into a human at the mosquito's next blood meal.